quick round of applause for everyone before we get into the Yeah. So why I say it's one of the largest use cases is the sheer numbers. And yes, this is a $500 billion industry today. Video streaming, it's anticipated to be at $2,000 billion by 2030. In terms of the financial value, it may not be the largest use case, but in terms of the actual consumer, it is probably the largest use case because you're talking about 5 billion users. There's 5 billion users, around 3.5 billion out of them are AOR consumers, which are people who are watching content on platforms which are ad supported. That's why they call it AOR, right? And the remaining 1.5 billion roughly, which are SWOT consumers. Now what's happening on the ad-supported platforms is that the CPMs are not growing, which means the gross margins for platforms are not growing because the advertisers are not paying a premium for the audience because the audience is not captive enough, right? But with RWA, what you can essentially do is you can make these audiences more engaged, you can empower them more, and you can make them more captive, which can create more value flowing into the ecosystem because you can sell higher CPMs for a captive audience because now this audience is part of the ecosystem itself. And the same thing is happening with SWOT platforms, the likes of Netflix and Amazon, that work on transactional subscriptions or monthly subscriptions. All of these platforms, you guys know it, you've read all of these articles about Netflix losing subscribers you have, right? Everyone is losing subscribers. Why? Again, there could be an elevated relationship with these consumers using RWA technology. And this is essentially what Michael's been trying to solve. So, what is RWA? RWA at the end of the day is real-world asset tokenization. From a content perspective or a video streaming perspective, there are 4 elements, The tokens need to represent 4 different elements. First is ownership, which is where does the ownership of those videos sit? This can easily be solved with infrastructure layer, which is truly tokenized and decentralized. And a video infrastructure layer that is decentralized and tokenized can solve for the ownership to be distributed via digital assets. The second thing is income and revenue, which is who's making the money and how's that revenue being redistributed, how's that income being redistributed. That can easily be done with an economic layer, which is decentralized, distributed and tokenized. And this is the part that you've already been able to solve at Michael. The third thing is usage rights and usage costs, which comes down to who's paying for the subscription, who's paying for the transaction. Again, that's part of the economic layer which Michael has already resolved. And the last part is storage and asset transfer, which is the difficult part, right? But this needs to happen. For this to happen, there needs to be a fully decentralized video infrastructure layer, which is on-chain. And there are entities in the world, there are options which are actually solving for this, and those are the partners that we're working with right now. And because some of you might have seen the videos that were playing, before us, we have like a very cool song which is called Michael Watch It, Earn It, Own It. So I just want you guys now to look at that problem statement and think about that song, which is Watch It, Earn It, Own It. That's exactly what Michael's trying to do, because with that tagline, you're solving for all of these things. I don't know why the text is like that. But so a fully functional and scalable Web3 video streaming platform should be able to record, map, assign, and redistribute the entire economic value on-chain with a circular economy, which is the part that we are strong at. At the same time, such a platform needs to eliminate the need for a central intermediary for the asset storage and transfer, which can only come with the video infrastructure layer that I'm talking about. And last is facilitate the trade, distribution, and co-ownership of IP. So just to keep this very engaging, and I'm going to close my conversation in a bit, but let's talk about the problems. What are the gaps that RWA is going to solve for the content business as a whole? So there are 3 key stakeholders. Hi, Amrita.
Hi.
So there are 3 key stakeholders within this entire ecosystem, right? The first one is creators or filmmakers. The second one is the viewer. So according to me, the most important stakeholder. And the last is the platform, which right now is most important, shouldn't be. But let's talk about the problems that all of these 3 are facing without looking at the side. I just want you guys to come up with, some of the problems. So what do you think for the creators and filmmakers, what's the largest problem? Anyone give? Funding, financing, okay? Anything else?
Viewerships. Viewership, okay. Anything else? You work in distribution.
Ownership, anyone?
Right for ownership and take a risk.
Yeah. So when let's say there's a very popular creator, we have one here. So there's a very popular creator. He's publishing his content on TikTok or Instagram and saying, "Hey, my channel, go and watch this video on my channel." Does he really own that channel? Where's the video set? Video sits on some server somewhere in India with Amazon. He doesn't own his content. He's saying he does, but he doesn't, right? So ownership. Funding and financing, the largest problem, especially for capital-intensive content creators, because these capital-intensive content creators, they need money. And when the system is centralized, the system will always favor a few. If you have a friend at Netflix, you're a good filmmaker, you'll probably have your next 20 years booked because you have enough projects too. Whereas there's a friend of yours who's probably better than you, but doesn't have that contact, couldn't find that first node, and now he's struggling even to get the first project. And this is where tokenization and adapt can actually solve all of this, right? Second stakeholder is the viewer. What are the biggest issues for you?
It's net time.
Time is probably it's my back in my mind. Does we get anything else?
They don't make money.
They don't need money. Anything else? That's great.
Sure, the cost.
The cost is high.
So cheap. I'm better than that student.
And one thing we covered that. Data protection is my data. I need to have a way to control it, which also happen on chain. But the bigger issue,
What?
investing. If I can, as a consumer, ownership, yes, but investment leads to ownership, right? So if I as a consumer can invest into the best stocks, bonds, the best crypto assets, why can't I find a way to invest into content? If I watch this first season of, there's this series that I've watched on Netflix and I like it, and I know that the producer is doing the next piece of content. As a consumer, why can't I invest into it? Why can't I fuel growth of that franchise? And why can't I be a part of that entire, economic transaction that happens, which leads to ownership, right? So now imagine there's an ecosystem which solves the problems of both the consumers and the creators. It will also solve the problem for the platform. Because what are the problems for the big platforms out there? What is anyone on the platform side?
No one's loyal. What? You need to reach a certain threshold. Without this point dies, and you can't feel breaker norms that you monetize at once.
So there's no control, right? Just to give you a small example, because we started a startup which has obviously the first 1 year is always great at it. So, we were even starting to monetize our ad impressions programmatically. So programmatic ad exchanges are supposed to be owned by everyone, right? We were starting to monetize why? Because Google was stopping them. Because Google felt that actually, working on an ecosystem that is against their philosophy. But 90% of the ad impressions in the world today on all the ad exchanges are actually delivered through Google. So, yeah, that's a problem, right? But other problems are also decreasing loyalty. Users are not loyal to platforms. There's so much fragmentation. Everyone is switching from one platform to the other. The loyalty only stays with the content. There's no loyalty to the platform. So how can you create that loyalty and solve that challenge for the platform? It's all hidden in RWA. It's all hidden in this blockchain world. We saw this opportunity before anyone else. We've had great partners who've been able to support us on this journey, and that's why we now stand at the risk of this disruption, and we're about to make things happen. So what is Myco essentially today? And why I'm highlighting Myco is not that, this is a use case that only Myco is going to solve. There's going to be other platforms who will work on the same use case. But really, what we need to create is a decentralized content super app or a app that delivers full empowerment through RWA. Because here, the creators are going to win and the consumers are also going to win. And Shahab is late. So yeah. Now, what we've solved for is the economics of it, right? What we haven't solved for, which is still hybrid for Myco, is the infrastructure, which we're working on. But on the economics, there's a very simple equation, right? Because, all of these large scale platforms like TikTok, like Instagram, like YouTube of the world, You know how they distribute revenues between creator and the platform? For them, it's very simple. So, for example, Dr. Marwan has a YouTube channel. Dr. Marwan uploads a video on that channel. Amrita is the viewer that logs in. Now, Amrita's Google profile leads to an advertiser, let's say Gucci, that wants to advertise to her because she's very rich.
I think we have the use case. That's probably the one that you put up on the each person, probably you have to.
So now Dr. Marwan uploaded the content on YouTube, right? Amrita came in, watched the content, Gucci advertised to her because the profile was connected. There's $100, let's say, it's $100, it's going to be sent, you know, 2 cents, let's say it's $100. Now who makes a part of that $100? The distribution is Dr. Marwan will make $50 out of the 100 and YouTube will make $50. You know? Who did the advertiser come from? What does she make for? Nothing. And why should the platform make 50% of Dr. Marwan's content? Like he's the guy doing all the effort, uploading all of that content, you know. At the max, the platform should probably just take 5 to 10% of that revenue to cover the infrastructure cost. But the platform cannot take in 50% in a decentralized environment. Right. And that again is the big problem for a consumer. Now, what happens is when the consumer gets this financial power, right, which means that now as a consumer, I have this financial power. I have more rewards, more control, you know, more power in terms of being able to fund content creators. Eventually what that does is the power gets migrated. Because the power gets migrated to who? To the creator. To that filmmaker who's right now struggling for investment. But there are thousands of filmmakers graduating from film schools every day. They're not getting enough projects, right? And there is no way they can get enough financial power in a centralized ecosystem. The only way they can is if it's truly democratized. How is it truly democratized? If the investment power is in the hands of the consumer. There's only one authority in this world right now which can do justice to every content creator in the world. And that is the viewer. Which is why what we're trying to do is we're trying to take the power to the viewers so that the viewer can give that power back to the creators and the filmmakers and the creative contributor. Right? So it's a funnel, it's a sector. Also what that does is, obviously it leads to better ad monetization. There's no minimum barriers to entry, you know. If Dr. Marwan only has, let's say, although I'm sure he has more, but let's say he only has 4,000 subscribers on his YouTube, why does he have to wait for a number of subscribers or a number of followers or a number of watch hours before he can start making money? He should be able to get it on the very first view. And that's what Adapt, working within this space, does. Also what this does is the fair revenue distribution, it encourages a lot of content owners, existing IP owners, to come and be a part of the ecosystem. Why? So let's say there is a television broadcaster in Saudi Arabia that is sitting on like 2,000 movies and hundreds of thousands of videos, short form videos, which they have been monetizing on television. Now they're thinking digital, what are the options that they have? One option is they create a channel on YouTube or another AWOD platform where 50% of their revenue is going to be eaten by something else. Or they go out and try and create their own streaming platform, which is not easy, especially for us. So, is there a third option? Yes, there is a third option. If there is somebody that is empowering such distributors to come and monetize their content in an environment where they keep majority of the revenue, and part of their revenue actually goes to their consumers, why would they go through the hassle of creating their own platform there? Which essentially means that there are thousands of distributors, filmmakers, producers that are sitting on hundreds of thousands of IP that can come and distribute content on the decentralized content streaming app. And Myco's proven it, you know, with the kind of partners that have purely on revenue share, you know. So these are hundreds and thousands of videos sitting on Myco, which partners have populated on our channels, on their channels on the Myco app, without any money being paid to them. This is all revenue share, you know. And I do want to highlight that last one because people who know Myco know we've done really well with cricket. You know, it's been one of the strongest sports, although we've seen more than 100 plus live sporting events. As we speak today and tomorrow, we're doing from boxing to punching to MMA to karate to polo. We've done tennis and batting and football. But cricket really has been a lot of our growth because there's a very strong Southeast Asian segment living here in this region, right? And a lot of our growth of the 10 million users has come because of that. So we identified a channel, a TV channel in North America, which is called Vero TV, which has got all the rights. You know, when it comes to cricket, they've got the IPL, they've got the PSL, they've got the Cricket World Cup, they've got anything in American cricket. So what Myco did was, because they were on TV, we went to them and we asked them to create alternate channel on Myco with a paid solution that we provided to them, which essentially means that if a consumer comes and pays for the below TV access, the money goes to them and their consumer. You don't make anything out of it. As a result, what we've been able to do is that in June this year, on the 2nd of June, the first Cricket World Cup for the first time was happening in the US. And that Cricket World Cup, here we have picked up the rights because we paid for them. We're streaming the Cricket World Cup, which we're very proud of. But now we're also streaming the Cricket World Cup in North America because of that, without paying anything. And again, this is a huge diaspora of Southeast Asian, Indian, Pakistani population and Bangladeshi population that gets into the West. And I'm pretty sure we're going to have massive growth through this, right? So yeah, very, just going to end this. But empowerment, when you try and empower others, Myco is a living example of the fact that does translate into growth. And the growth is in front of you. Today we're sitting at 10 million registered users with almost 3 million MAUs. We've got a million videos on the platform, all of these partner channels that we have. Got more than 1,500 popular creators, people like 9gag who have populated their channels on our portfolio. And we've got a lot of licensed titles. We've funded a lot of projects. We've got 200 originals of our own. We funded 50 first-time filmmakers. Prakash and Vase and Indian Starter were part of one of the projects that we did, which was like an independent short film that we funded through our ecosystem. It got featured in GOT. It was an impact film, right? And there are at least 30 other examples of short films and documentaries we've done, which are featured on film festivals, won awards. There's stuff that was landed on Amazon Prime. And all of this proves the fact that a decentralized ecosystem which empowers the consumers and the creators alike and the distributors will also get a lot of good. Not just in terms of user base, but also in terms of revenue, which is obviously in there in our numbers. So we've delivered almost 455 million impressions, which speaks volumes about what we are. So I'm going to end now, and I'm going to end with one short 1-minute story, because at the end of the day, the asset, the RW asset that we're tokenizing is content. This entire ecosystem does not work until and unless the content is good. So we just want to show you a quick story which will tell you about all the great stuff that Myco has been streaming, soon today, tomorrow, and hopefully there's going to be a much bigger story after 1 year when we're all together, and a much bigger number of users. But together with Myco and other platforms that are working on this RWA use case, I'm pretty sure we'll be able to disrupt this huge industry very soon. So I'll end with the video. And yes, if you want to appreciate me, you can do it after the video.